WeatherScope.
Well, we're watching a developing weather situation in the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast this evening. It looks like more snow may be headed into the Northeast. Good evening, I'm Declan Cannon.
And I'm Jill Brown. Another Pacific storm is complicating travel in the Northwest, and we'll also have the story of that and pre-Super Bowl face-off on the slopes as well. We'll talk about that in a moment. First, folks in the Portland area haven't had much time to catch their breath between snowstorms so far in 1998. Another 6 inches fell in the city yesterday and last night. It looks like there is more on the way. Snow will start falling during the early morning hours, but the good news is that it will move out of the area pretty quickly. In Boston, most of the precipitation fell in the form of rain. Newspapers, umbrellas, or anything that would offer some protection from the rain was in demand. Over 2 inches were recorded yesterday and this morning. Temperatures never made it out of the 30s. A cold rain. Hopefully you're out there saying, oh, might as well just snow. Because you know what? Just might. We do have a little snow that's been falling, and actually it's been a pretty decent snow today in the mountains of West Virginia and into Virginia. That's been coming down. Now it's trying to get into the big cities, so a little snow in Baltimore at this hour, and maybe you're seeing a few flakes mixed with the rain in D.C. It's not going to be a long-lasting snow event. It's not going to be the kind that you have to get up tomorrow morning and probably shovel to get out of the driveway, but at the end of a wet week, looks like we're going to see some snow one more time. So here's how it looks this evening. This rain moved out of Boston. Temperatures about in the mid-30s right now. Now this is mainly rain, a little bit of snow, and that's coming up the coast, and that's headed for you, New York and Hartford and Boston. So snow through Pennsylvania now. You're going to find it's a little bit heavier in the mountains, and then it's rain down around Richmond, and it's sort of a combination as you get into the D.C. and Baltimore area. And Philadelphia, you're not too far from the snow zone either. Along the coast, temperatures are still in the 40s. We have one more area of low pressure along that front that's going to head northward. That's producing the rain and snow, and looks like once that moves up and out, the whole thing actually will move far enough away from the coast tomorrow to bring us a dry day. Nice change of pace. But in the meantime, here's how it looks. There's a little bit better view on your radar. Snow through West Virginia. You're going to find some problems on those windy mountain roads, so be aware of that. Again, mainly rain through this area, and then it's light snow that's heading northward, kind of a wet snow. It's not terribly cold out there. Down through the Raleigh-Durham area on Interstate 95, you'll find it's a little bit wet, and I think South Carolina and Georgia, you're out of it. Florida, you're out of it now too, but that front hasn't quite gone through yet. This is good and bad. Once it does go through, it's going to get a little bit colder. As a matter of fact, look at this. Atlanta's already dipping into the 30s, and we'll get some of that chilly air, and probably 30s all the way down into Florida for tonight. But, well, maybe after a little cool weather on Sunday, Monday should be a little bit more seasonable. We'll talk about that coming up. Declan?
Well, we have another storm moving through the Pacific Northwest, and a little farther to the east, Super Bowl fever has made its way to Vail, Colorado. In fact, it was Green Bay's Brett Favre and Denver's John Elway on the slopes today. Both men seem to have lost a few pounds in the past couple of weeks. Conditions here were much better for skiing than for football, but for those of you who may be interested, Denver came out on top in this one, in this pregame contest along the slopes in Colorado. All right, let's take a look at the satellite view over the southwest. A lot of sunshine today. It was a gorgeous day in Phoenix and Yuma, Arizona, Tucson looking pretty nice, and even in Southern California where our own Bill Keneally is located right at the stadium. We've had a decent day with just a few high clouds skirting well to the north of San Diego, and it looks like a pretty nice forecast coming up. But clouds, rain, and some cool weather. 47 at Portland. The Pacific Northwest has been socked in with winds and rain today. 38 presently at Lander, and it's a little bit warmer as you head north. At Billings, Montana, 43 degrees. Some light snow has developed over the northern plains, and we have our cold front moving through northern California. The north part of the front is the most active. I mean, northern California has seen dramatically different weather today than we've seen in the Bay Area, and certainly farther south as we work our way to L.A. and San Diego. A lot of that moisture, as it moves east, it will produce heavy snow in Idaho and Wyoming later this evening, and still getting the rain in Seattle, Portland, Eugene, North Bend. We had some pretty strong winds along the coast earlier today, and still looking at these heavy surf advisories along the coast of southernmost Washington and down along the coast of northern Oregon. And a gale warning in effect as far south as Point St. George. We're keeping a close eye on this next system. It appears to be intensifying, and it could bring high winds and more heavy rain to the Pacific Northwest and northernmost California. The tail end of it could sweep a little farther south. The clouds could roll back into San Francisco, and eventually some rain as we get into the new week. We'll have a look at your forecast in just a moment. Jill?
All right, thanks, Declan. It is ocean and atmosphere working together that makes El Nino a force for climate change. Jim Cantore explains in tonight's El Nino Focus.
In normal non-El Nino years, the surface of the Pacific Ocean along the coast of South America is cool, about 8 degrees cooler than the surface in the western Pacific. That's because of the trade winds. The prevailing trade winds in this part of the world are from east to west, and those winds push the ocean's surface along with them. That piles warm water up in the western Pacific. Sea level is about 1.5 feet higher near Indonesia than at Ecuador.
30.